Hello, San Ramon first graders. This is Phonics session 9. So this is our second phonics lesson that we're doing. All right, you guys, Rashid wrote a letter and he wanted me to read it to you guys. So I'm going to read it. You can read it with me and I'm going to point to the words and you can read along, okay? It says, "Dear word builders, I learned so much about building. Here are 2 construction tools that I saw while I was in New York. I saw the construction workers using them. I wonder if vowel teams might work the same way. What do you think?" From Rashid. Cooper, you guys, that's my doggy. I'm sorry. P.S. Coopy, come here. P.S. I miss you all. It is nice to be back in Novato, but I wish I could see you. You have to help your parents understand how we learn about words. Oh, Rashid gets that we're all stuck at home right now. So here are the tools that he's talking about, friends, boys and girls. We have 2 tools. We have a cabinet attacher and we have a doorknob installer. Now, take a second to look at those tools and you tell me, think about what are the differences and what are the similarities. I'm going to let you think about that for just a second, okay? My daughter Elise is helping me film today. Elise, do you see any differences between these two construction tools?
No.
You don't see any differences at all, but one's a cabinet attacher and one's a doorknob installer. So what's up with that? What do you think?
They can do both.
You mean that one tool can do 2 jobs? Do you guys think that's true too? Do you think this same tool can do 2 jobs? In fact, I would argue it can do 3 because I've used this tool to stir paint. I've used this tool for lots of things before. So I think you guys are onto something. The same tool can do 2 jobs, just like the same vowel team can do 2 jobs. So let's look at this sentence. I'm going to turn this little guy around here for a second. Hold on. Got my little handy dandy easel. Can you guys all see that sentence? Can you see the whole sentence? Okay. So this says, I gave my mom a full hour. So this, friends, here we have the OW like we learned about yesterday. Do you guys remember that? So we learned this yesterday. What sound does that make? That the OW makes the ow sound, right? So ow, just like we did yesterday, okay? So we're going to remember that one because flower gives us that at OW. It's actually like the OW sounds like, here OW sounds like OU. Remember how they sounded the same, like cloud, flower, cloud? It's the ow sound. So let's read the next sentence and see what that has. Can you see this again, Elise? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this says, do you, and this is a weird word, you guys. Remember when the K is in front of an N, what happens? Do you guys remember what happens then? It's kind of like,
goes away.
It's silent, right? The K is silent when almost every time when it's followed by an N, or maybe every time it is. So like knee and night and, I can't think of another example right now. Oh, knife is another example. Yep. So this is n, and would it be now? Do you now what time it is? That doesn't sound right, does it, Elise? We should maybe try it 2 ways. You know how we do that, friends, in Reader's Workshop? So let's try it a different way. Do you know what time it is? So here, the OW is not making the ow sound. Here, it's making a long O sound. It's like it's followed by a silent E or something. It's got the long O. So this is, do you know what time it is? And kiddos, that brings me to our next sight word. Our next snap word is going to be know. K-N-O-W. So we just talked about how the K is silent when it's followed by an N, and then the OW in this case gives us a long O and not the ow, not the OU sound, okay? So you can keep that in your little memory for the next snap word. Now let's read one more sentence and see what we have. Our next sentence says, after the rain, we saw a rainbow. Now, what does that sound like? Does that sound more like the ow that we had in flower or the O that we had in the word no? That rainbow. What do you think, Elise? What does it sound more like?
A long O.
It's the long O again, right? So it's like no. Rainbow is like no. So what you're going to do now, for kiddos, is you might have remembered this from yesterday's lesson. I didn't fill any of it in before, but you might have done some of it in school. So if you don't have this paper, if you can't print it, it's so fine. Just get a white piece of paper, even one with lines, and you're going to put 15 boxes on it. You don't even have to have a ruler if you don't want to. And put in the first box, you're going to put EE for the tree. And if you already did the OU and the OW yesterday, don't worry about it. Then do OU and OW in the first two, and then you can do these in the other ones. It really doesn't matter the order. But we've learned EE in previous lessons, EA, OA, AI, and AY. So here we have the word tree representing the EE, eat is representing the EA, boat for the OA, rain for AI, and tray for AY. Now, you don't have to have these same words or pictures. If you have other ones that you like, that's so fine. You could do that. So what I'm going to add in now is for my OU, I never did this yesterday, I'm going to add in a picture of a cloud, because that's the sound it makes, okay? And here for OW, because it makes two sounds, it does not just make one. We're going to do a little line here. And we're going to put on one, we're going to put a picture of a flower. That's my flower part. That's my stem. Okay. So we're going to say flower. I have to write really small here. Flower. And the other one we're going to write is rainbow. And I do not have all the colors of a rainbow next to me, unfortunately. So you guys can make yours much fancier than mine. Mine's going to be sort of a simplified version of a rainbow. But you could get all your colors out and do your whole Roy G. Biv thing, and that would look fantastic, but I don't have that here. So I'm going to do it like that, okay? And then I'm going to underline my OW here and my OW there. And this one is, this is the long O sound, long O, and this is the OU sound. You can kind of squeeze those in. Just remember that it's one tool. It's an OW. It's spelled the same way, but it makes two sounds. Okay, now we're going to look at. Let's see here. Sorry. We're going to look at some sentences. We're going to read them, and again, I'm going to include this with the email with your parents so that they can print these sentences up. If you can't print them up, you can always write them up if you want to practice reading them, because they're kind of fun to practice reading. We're going to look at these words and see what kinds we get. So here we have blow out the candles on your cake. So now you get to decide, is that the blow, is that the ow, the OU sound, or the long O? Blow out the candles on your cake. Blow, oh. What do you hear, guys? What do you think? It's the long O, right? So blow is going to go here under the long O. And you could even make a chart like this at your house if you guys want to. It's kind of fun. So there's that sentence. Let's pull another one for you. We got a bunch of these sentences. Next one says, wow, show me how fast you can run now. Oh my gosh, that's chock full of them, isn't it, you guys? Let's read that one more time. Wow, show me how fast you can run now. So let's look at that first word. Wow. Wow. Ow, ow, ow. Is that going to be the OU or the long O? What do you think, Elise? OU. So we've got wow there. And then the next one is show, oh. Is that going to be ow or is it going to be O? It's going to be over here, right, with the O's. Show me how, ow, ow. Nope, that's going to go over here, right? How fast you can run now, ow, ow, again on this side, right? The ow side, now. All right, so you know what you can do, boys and girls at home? If you print these up or if your parents write the sentences, you can underline the words and then you can write them in a little, you can sort them like I'm doing. The king wore a crown and a robe. So crown, ow, that's over here, right? Crown. It's not crone, it's crown. Let's look at another one. Look how big you are. You have grown up so much. So here we've got how again. We already have that down there. Big you are. You have grown. Own. That's not ow. It's not ground. It's grown. So we're going to put it over here, right? Grown up so much. Let's do one more of these. You're going to find more on the little attachment that I'll put on your on the email to the parents. Okay, last one here. Some dogs growl if they are afraid. So growl. It's not growl, it's growl. So we're going to put that down here. Growl under the OUs. Okay, friends? All right, kiddos. That is what I have for today. So tonight or right now, if you want, get out your book, whatever book you're reading, doesn't really matter, and you're going to start looking for these blends. Really search for them. You might find OWs used in two different ways. You might find OU. You may find AY or AI or OA or EA or EE. See what you can find while you're reading. If you find them, you can write them down on a little piece of paper or a little post-it or something like that, and you can show off. In fact, maybe your parents could even take a picture of it and they could send it to your teacher, because that would be so awesome if we saw all these incredible vowel teams working together. So from Rashid and me, we're out. We are, it's kind of a gloomy day, so I'm not sure if we're going to get out for a walk, but I hope you guys are having a great one, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye guys.